Okay, so you guys are going to go to desmos.com. Let's see, DESMOS, desmos.com, and you're going to click on Graphing Calculator right here, right in the middle of the screen. Okay, it's got a place to enter equations and it's got a graph. I've got it kind of zoomed in so you can see the equation editor a little bit better. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. Okay, I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna like start doing my own project, like I'm making my own project up. Okay, and I'm gonna answer some questions along the way. You guys can ask questions along the way. I'm gonna show you the rubric for this project, and then at the end I'll answer any more questions that you have. And then we'll work all week during class on this problem. Now, any idea why I'm willing to work all week on a project during class? You might have a lot of questions. Also, this project covers 9 TEKs. 9. A normal lesson that we do covers 1, maybe like half of 1, part of 1. A test that we do normally cover 5 and 6, maybe 7. This project's 9. So that's a big deal, right? So I want to be here to answer any questions that you might have as you're working through it, okay? This project covers topics like transformations and domain and range. And over the last couple months, you guys have gotten really, really good at transformations, okay? At least you can answer the test questions about transformations. So let's do some applications of those transformations and see how well you really are at them, okay? The other thing is that domain and range, it's still really bad, right? So I'm hoping that this project will really, really firm up your knowledge about domain and range, especially since part of the instructions, part of what you have to do on this project is restrict domain and range on every function that you do. Okay, so that's going to almost like force you to be good at it. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm going to just start. I'll try to talk my way, like I'll try to talk out loud about my thought process so you can see what we're doing. Is that fair? Okay, so here we go. So let's see. I want a parabola. So I got y equals x squared. There's a little keyboard down here in the bottom left-hand corner that you can raise up and down, and a lot of the things you need are right there. Okay. I want this parabola upside down. So what do I need to do? Negative. Excellent. And then I want it up a little higher just so we can see it a little easier. You okay with that? But see, all I want to be able to see of this parabola right here is just from here all the way to here. So I have to restrict either my domain or my range. I'm not going to do both. That'll get super confusing. And it's not necessary. Okay? So if I restrict one or the other, which one do you think I should do? Domain or range? Range would be fine. For the record, there's not a wrong answer right here. Okay, there will be certain times when you can only choose range and only choose domain. I'll try to show you that in just a minute. Is that okay? But on this particular one, look, I'll even prove it to you. Okay, if I'm restricting domain, what I want is only the values between -3 and +3, right? So I want to use my pretty braces, the one beside the letter P on your keyboard, and say -3 is less than x is less than 3. Oh, look at that. Only the part that I want to see is what pops up. Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean by restricting domain and range? Right before, it just went on and on and on, right? Look, let me show you real fast. I can zoom out as far as I want, and it's still going, right? But if I restrict, what does that even mean? Restrict my domain from -3 is less than x is less than 3, then all I can see is from the x values, -3 to +3. Yes? Now watch this. What if I said instead, I want everything above the x-axis? Wouldn't that turn out to be the same thing for us? What if I said y is greater than 0. Oh, put a capital Y, sorry. It doesn't like that. Isn't that exactly what I wanted too? So do you see what I'm saying? There's times where it doesn't matter which one you restrict, the domain or the range. Yes? Okay, so I'm going to keep going. See, I want another upside down parabola. Y equals negative x squared. Whoa, 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 whoa. Squared. Oh, negative. There it is. I also want this one a little higher, so I'm going to put plus 6. But I don't like how wide it is, so I'm going to make it narrower. How do I make a parabola narrower? Remember? So it's a multiplier, right? That's a multiplier. And if I want to make it narrower, it's a vertical stretch, which means it has to be greater than 1, right? So what if I tried 3? Okay, perfect. Okay. So again, I want the same thing. So I want, as far as my range goes, so I'm going to say y is greater than 0. Let's see. I really need to include an absolute value in there. So right down here, this button you see, absolute value of x. I want it a little higher, so like at 5.5. Whoa, 5.5 and plus 5.5. Oh no, that's not enough. How about 6.5? Oh, perfect. And then I want it to go from, let's see, I want it to go just from here to here. So I want to restrict my domain this time and make it go from 0.5 is less than x is less than, how about negative 0.5 and positive 0.5? Yes. Okay, let's do another absolute value. So y equals absolute value of x, but I want this steeper. How do I do that again? Multiply, good, greater than 1. But I want this real steep, so how about 7? Oh, yes, perfect. And I want this up about 2. So up 2. Oh, but I need it over to the left some. So to move it left, I have to add maybe like 1.25? No, 1.75? Yes, perfect. And I want it y is less than 4. Yes. Now I just want the same exact thing, but I want it on the other side. I'm going to copy and paste. Yes. It needs some eyes, right? Let's do parabolas for eyes. Are you okay with that? Okay, y equals x squared. So I need them up here, one here and one here. So this one's going to go up, what is that, 7.5? 7.5. Whoa, what the? 7.5. Okay, thank you. And then over to the left. So plus 0.25. Is that far enough? No. 0.5? Yeah. But I only want to see a little bit of it. Should I make them steeper? A little bit steeper? Maybe like 5? Oh yeah, that's excellent. And then I only want a little tiny bit of one, right? Because we don't want our penguin to have super weird eyes. So where's that? So 0.75. So if I go from negative 0.75 is less than x is less than 0.25, negative 0.25. That work? Aw. Again, I want one just right on the other side of the axis. So instead of plus 0.5, how about if I put minus? Uh-oh, where'd it go? Oh, because of my domain, right? So I need this one to be 2.25, and I need this one to be 0.75. Yes. Are you okay with this, penguin? How long did that take? Okay, let me do a little bit more because I told you I would show you something and I can't show you something without this. Okay, let's say y equals 9. Excellent. And then I want to go from, can I do domain? Which one should I do, domain or range on this? Like to restrict it, to make it just go from like here to here. In fact, I have to do domain, don't I? I can't do range because there's only one value for range. So I have to do domain here. This is what I told you before, right? There's sometimes where you can do one or the other. There's sometimes you have to do one or the other, right? This is a time where we have to do domain. So let's make this go from -2 is less than x is less than +2. Perfect. And then y equals 10, right? But this time I only want it to go from here to here. So again, I have to do domain here, right? -1 is less than x is less than 1. And then to connect them, this would be x equals 1, right? X equals 1. And this, you're right, I do have to do range here, don't I? I have to say pretty braces. I want it to go from here to here, so I want it to go from 9 to 10, right? So 9 is less than x is less than 10. Oh no, not x, right? Y, because we're doing range. And then x equals -1. Same range, right? 9 is less than y is less than 10. Adorable. Right here? Okay, so if we wanted to put a line right here, what equation would that be? It's crossing the y-axis at 7. So y equals 7. But I only want it to go from here to here, right? And look, if there's a point there, see how if you hover over, the point actually shows up and you can see where it's from. So that's at -0.5 and +0.5. So that helps with my domain, doesn't it? So -0.5 is less than x is less than +0.5. Perfect. Adorable. Yeah? So you get the idea, right? First thing I want you to notice is that all the equations I put in were exactly that. They are equations. Okay, here's what I mean by that. I can come over here and I can say x squared, and it's going to graph it. But I'll tell you this, sometimes when it's not an equation, the domain and range will not work. Okay, so since we're working on graphing with transformations and all that kind of stuff, we want to make sure everything we put in is an equation. Y equals x equals something. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, is that really hard, what we just did? No, you have to have like the slightest, tiniest bit of creativity, right? And then we have to be patient with ourselves, because how many times when I was doing this did I just kind of guess? Yeah, several times I was like, oh, nope, that's too far. Okay, I have to guess again, right? We've talked about this, right? Guessing is good in certain circumstances, right? Not always. We don't always want to guess when there's a way, but here I just had to figure out where I wanted it, okay? Now, can I show you, let's see, can I show you some examples of some other ones from previous years? Is that okay? Okay, so there's certain things that you can do. If I change this one, which is the top of the hat, right? If I made that less than, it's going to shade. But the problem is it's going to shade everything less than that line, but not just the part that I want to, like not just the hat. Okay? I think there's a way to do it, but honestly, I do not know how. Okay? But there is a way to shade like below. Like if I say to this penguin, penguin, do you want some water? Well, I happen to know that y equals, look over here in the sign, in the functions, I know that the sine curve looks like water, right? So I could make that water, and I can actually say less than, and I can actually, the settings, you see the settings gear right up here where it says edit? I can go right here and make that be blue. Aw, now he's in the blue water. That's so exciting. You see what I'm saying though? Okay, so there is a way to use the shading to your advantage if you want to, but that's not required. Okay, from the settings menu, I could actually make all of these. Maybe I want a purple penguin because maybe I like purple penguins. I don't know if I like purple penguins or not. Um, and then which means that has to be, I'm going to make that black because that's part of his beak. And these are his eyes, so his eyes are definitely blue. I'm going to make his eyes blue. And then the red for his hat. What colored hat should he have? Green? Green hat, green hat, green hat. And then when I'm done, it changes. Well, they were supposed to change. Oh, I think I changed the wrong ones. I didn't go all the way to the top. This is a penguin. Oh, no. Oh, you can do that, by the way. You can, hold on. See the circles over here? If I click on these circles, it turns them off and on. Okay, so don't panic if things disappear. Plus, there's these undo buttons up here. Okay, so this is what I want purple. This is what I want purple. Now they're changing as we go to help us out, right? This is green. This is what I want black. This other green down here is what I also want black because that's, oh no, that's the hat. We want a green hat. Okay, if I turn it off, let's see, that's absolute value. That's part of the penguin, so I want that purple because who doesn't want a purple penguin, right? This is black and that's the top of the hat, so we want that green. And this is blue, so that's also the hat, so we want it green and blue and green. So we just need the rest of his beak, the top line of his beak, which I think is this one, to be black. There we go. And then we want the water blue again. There. Is that good? And then we hit done. But that's all by hitting the gears, the gear up here. Does that make sense? Okay. But that's all not necessary. That's just something for you to do if you want to. Okay. Because when I print them out, they're going to be printed out in black and white, unless we print them out in color on purpose. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So when you first log into this site, I'm going to scoot this over just for a second. See, mine actually says my name right here because I've logged in and I have an account. So you're going to need to log in to get an account. Okay. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Probably Google is the easiest way to log in. But in a way, this is not like Google because you have to save. See that right there? You have to save. Okay. So every once in a while during class, I'm going to be like, have you guys saved in a while? Save in a while, right? Because you don't want to just close your computer because then it's all gone. Okay. All right. So I have an account though, so I'm going to show you some ones that I've previously done so you get an idea. Okay, we'll start with this one. Aw. Oh, look, it's another penguin. Do you see a pattern here? Okay. Now, I'm actually going to show you, well, before I show you another one, let me show you the rubric real quick, okay? Here's the rubric. Here's the rubric. Name, 5 points. Color, 5 points. We'll talk about color in a minute. Is that okay? Okay. Then here's what's required for you to have. Parabolas, cubes, which is x cubed, vertical lines, horizontal lines, absolute values, square roots, cube roots. Yes? Those are the things you have to have. How many of them do you have to have? If you want full credit, you have to have 5. 5 of each if you want full credit. Yes? Then there's this section right here that says equations grouped. I will show you what that means in just a minute because it's obviously important because I'm willing to give you 10 points for it. Okay? Turned in. Notice right up here it says February 6th through the 11th is the window that you can turn your project in. February 6th is this coming Sunday. So you can turn it in early for 10 points of extra credit if you turn it in on Sunday. We will talk about how to take care of that, right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday is the last day that I will take this. Yes? Okay. Restricted on every function, domain and range. This is an all or nothing kind of thing. Because this is one of the major points of this project, you either do it or you don't. Okay, if you miss one, that's a 0 instead of 20. Okay, so please make sure you're restricting your domain on every or range on every function. Okay, then here at the bottom, I have 3 types of functions: rational functions, logarithmic functions, and exponential functions. When have we talked about these 3? First 2 days of school. That's the only time that we've talked about these. But so do you see why I put them on here as extra credit? Right? They're not required. It's going to take you looking back at that worksheet that we did on the first 2 days of school and remembering what the parent function is, using your knowledge about transformations to figure out how to mess with them. You can ask me, we can talk about it for sure, right? But it's going to take a little bit more work on your part, which is why they're in there for extra credit, okay? Now, some of you are thinking, well, what's the highest we can make on this project, right? Well, 5 here and 5 here, that's 10, right? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 120, 125, 130, 135. Why in the world am I willing to give you 135 points on a test grade? So we did not do great on our last test. Some of them weren't terrible, but they just weren't great, right? And how many teaks does this cover? 9. This covers 9 teaks. We're going to be doing a lot of work on this project, so I feel fine making it worth a lot. Is that fair? Okay, so now that you know what to look for, now that you know what's required, now let me show you some examples. Okay, go back to this example. What kind of grade do you think this would make? Well, parabolas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, I have 6. I should delete one of them, right? Oh no, I can have extra? Is it extra points? It's not, but you're allowed to have more than you need. Okay? Okay, let's see what's next on the rubric. Cubes, x cubed. Remember what those look like? Come up here and then come down here, right? How many of those do I have? None. I don't have any cubes. I'm losing 10 points because I don't have any cubes, right? Vertical and horizontal lines. Let's see. Vertical. 1, 2, 3. I got 3. Okay. What about horizontal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm in the clear there. I got everything I need there, right? Are you seeing that this, as adorable as it is, wouldn't make a very good grade because I've missed stuff? Okay, so just be careful. Okay, now I'm also going to use this example right here for you to talk about equations grouped, because you saw that on your syllabus, right? I mean, not syllabus, your rubric, equations grouped, right? Okay, here we go. What shape is this first one? That is definitely a quadratic, isn't it? Okay, that's definitely a quadratic. And so if I'm counting quadratics, there's 1, there's 2. I got to find 5, right? If I have to grade them like this, how long is that going to take me? A long time, okay? Instead, while you are working, you could come up here to this plus sign right up here. You see that plus sign? And hit plus, and there's a place to add a folder. Okay, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit because it's kind of hard to see if you're not paying attention. Okay, now it's all wonky. Okay, can you focus on that? Is that focused or no? Is that a little better-ish? What if I called this folder quadratics? And I just leave it alone, right? Now, do you see how my cursor is a finger? But as I get closer to here, do you see how it changes to arrows? Watch what happens if I click on it and pull it up by the arrow. Do you see that line that showed up right here? That means that this equation right here is now in this folder. See how it's x plus 25 squared and so on? If I close the folder, that one's gone. Well, it's not gone, it's just in the folder. This one's also a quadratic, so I can click it and pull it into that folder. This one is also a quadratic, right? So I could click it and pull it into that folder. How do you know it's in the folder? If you see that line right there, right? And then this one's a quadratic. I'm going to click it and put it in the folder. That's in the folder. And now, if I want to grade quadratics, I just open the folder. They're all right there. How much easier is it going to be for me to grade that, right? So if I have another folder that's right here called cubes, I think that's what's next on the list, not cubs. How about cubes? Okay. See, when I open my quadratics folder, the cubes folder moves down a little bit. See how easy that's going to be for me to grade? So much faster. That's why you're earning 10 points on that, because you're doing what you can to make my job easier. Does that sound a little silly? I hope not. Okay. All right. Now let me show you some more examples besides my name. Okay. Okay. Is it as far back as it'll go? I think so. Okay. Well, there's this one right here. See, it's a delicious taco. See the taco shape? See the tomato? Here's a piece of cheese. Here's a piece of cheese. Here's a piece of cheese. Here's a black olive. Isn't that a delicious looking taco? You can say no, it's fine. Here's a strange cat. It has no eyes. Here is a dead snowman. Here is one that was turned in last year. Well, it's pretty cool, right? Does that look like something somebody freehand? It's because she didn't. Okay? Because, I don't know if you can see over here. Let me scoot this over here. Do you see this right here? Right here? It's a JPEG. It's an image that I can turn off and on. So what she did is she put an image and then traced the image. Would you like to know how to do that? I will show you in a minute. Okay? Yes, you may. Absolutely. This one was turned in last year. Also an image. If I turn it off and on, you see who it is? Could you have told who it was before? Maybe, right? Okay. This one was also turned in last year, but it was not necessarily free-handed. Okay. Now there are some images, but they're more of like a kind of a outline kind of thing. You see what I'm saying? So if I zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better, there's a spaceship abducting a cow, and here's where the cow is, right? See how it's not exactly the cow, but it's pretty close. It gives you an idea of what it is, right? So that this person didn't trace the cow, it just used the image to give them a general idea of what shape it should be. Does that make sense? And then over here is a monkey. Once again, there's a general shape of a monkey, but they made it what they wanted it to be. And then there's a swing, and then there's a shark and some seaweed. And then what's this area over here, you think? It's some other shapes they needed, but it didn't fit in any of these pictures that they had created, so they added some shapes to complete the planet, which was Jupiter. Does that make sense? Okay, here's what I don't want. Okay, I don't want something like this. That's not a picture. Okay, that's more of an abstract. I don't want that. I want a picture. I want you to take some time and think about a shape and make the shape. Okay? Any questions about that? Okay? Here's one more. And this is just me being braggy because I did this one. Again, I downloaded the picture, right? And then I traced the picture. It's from my husband's favorite band, Dream Theater. It's Octavarium album. So, okay. But see how I have it? I have, oops, you can't see. See how I have the equations grouped? And if I close all the folders, look how nice and neat it looks, right? That's all that's over there is the folders. So if I'm going to go grade this, let's see, I need some quadratics. How many do I need? Let's open the folder. Are there 5 quadratics there? Yep. Cubes. Are there 5 cubes here? Yep. Do I care if there's more? No, I don't. There just has to be at least 5, right? Okay. So you're getting the idea, yes? Okay. So let me show you. Let me open a new one. Blank new. All right. Let's search for something on the interweb. What am I searching for on the interweb? What picture am I searching for? A house. Yeah, a logo. Do you mind if we think of a logo? Is that okay? Is there a superhero that you like? Green lantern. Lantern. Green lantern. Images. Okay, so do we want Ryan Reynolds? Do we want Justice League? Do we want just his symbol? Okay, so wallpaper? Okay, is this okay if I use this one? So I'm gonna oh, can't see it. I'm gonna right click and save the image as. Probably needs to be a JPEG or a PNG, right? I'm gonna save it on my desktop so it's easier to find. Now when I go back to Desmos, the same place I went to make a folder, right here, add, I'm gonna add the image. I'm gonna choose it and put it in there. Okay, so now it's in there. Now using this area right over here, right now it's centered on the origin. If I want it all in the first quadrant, I can move the center. I can change the opacity, I don't know how to say that, I'm sorry, to make it a little lighter, like I just put it at 0.5, so it's a little easier to see the shapes that I'm making, right? Now, there's some shapes in here that you don't know how to make necessarily, only because we haven't talked about them. I'm not trying to call you names or say you're not intelligent or something. You know what I'm trying to say, right? You may not know how to make them, but if you don't, we just ask and I can help you, okay? Because like the first thing we need to be able to make is a circle, right? We haven't talked about making circles in here because that's part of your geometry teaks and not your algebra 2 teaks, right? But I know to make a circle, we need to say x squared plus y squared. No, you don't have to because you got x squared plus y squared equals the radius squared. Well, the radius, this looks like 2, a little bit more than 2, right? So 4 is the inside, and then I can make one more for the outside. Do you see it? If I turn it off and on, you can see it, right? So for sure, I got a horizontal line here, and a horizontal line here, and a horizontal line here, and here, and here, and here. So what am I going to do about like cubes and cube roots? There's not any there, right? Well, remember back over here on the Stranger Things logo? Remember on the picture? If I turn the picture on and off, all you can see is the Stranger Things. All this stuff out here is stuff that like she couldn't figure out how to write in the letters, so she just kind of made an outline. She added things to her picture, to her like sketching, her tracing, until she had all the necessary items. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes. Well, because look over here. Horizontal lines, vertical lines, absolute value. There's enough in all of these, right? Even, yeah, it's Stacy's. The Tiger Woods, 1, 2, 3, 4. She only had 4 cubes, but she turned it in real early. and she colored it, which we're going to talk about in a second. And so she earned all the points. So she missed like 1 point here for cubes. And I think maybe she had all of her parabolas. Yeah, she had all of her parabolas and stuff like that, right? She made a really high grade. I honestly don't remember what it was. I just know it was really high. Okay. The Tiger Woods one that I showed you was Carter's. The planet with the alien and the shark and stuff like that, that was Jennifer's. Okay. So here's what has to happen, right? I'm going to put the rubric into your Google Classroom so you know what's required. And if you'd like a paper copy, I have paper copies right here for you to grab. Okay, in a minute. But here's the deal. February 6th is the first day you can turn it in. We've already discussed that that is a Sunday. How are you going to turn this in on a Sunday? Do not come to my house. That would be creepy. I love you, but let's keep a line, right? Right up here, right beside your name. Right now it's beside my name. That's because I'm in mine, right? But right beside your name, there's this box with the arrow coming out of it. Do you see? And if I hover over it, it says share graph. If I click on it, it sends this link, right? You hit copy, it's going to copy the link, right? And when you go into Google Classroom, what's going to happen? Can you turn a link in as a grade? As your assignment, I mean? Oh, yes, you can. Absolutely. Right? When you go to turn in your assignment, there's a place to attach something. You can attach a Google document or whatever. There's a place to attach a link. Put the link there and submit it. Now, color, though, that's a little bit different, right? To color it, I literally want you to color it. Like, yeah, okay? Because here's the deal. We're going to hang these up in the hallway, okay? We're going to hang them up in the hallway. So that's a warning. Also, needs to be G-rated and school appropriate, okay? Here's the other part of the warning. If you choose to write letters like the Stranger Things or like I wrote my name, right? That's totally fine. That can be part of your picture, right? But if I were you, I wouldn't write something like I love Chase if Chase doesn't know you love him, unless that's how you're going to choose to profess your love to Chase with your algebra project, okay? But know that it's going to hang in the hall and everyone's going to see it, okay? Now your name's going to be on the back unless you choose to write your name like I did on that one earlier, right? Your name, you're going to write your name on the back. You remember how you get points for writing your name and points for coloring it? What if you don't have access to a printer? Who does have access to a printer? Oh, I do, right? And you for sure do up here at the school. You can print it in the library, right? Okay, so you can either print it in the library, go get it yourself, color it, and hand it to me, or you can, when you share the link with me, you can say, would you please print this for me? And I will be happy to walk my Bohiney down to the printer and print it off for you and hand it to you so that you have the opportunity to get points for your name and points for coloring. Okay, so what happens if you turn it in on Sunday, right? So if you submit it on Sunday, the first thing Monday when I see you, you better be putting that piece of paper in my hand. That will get you the points for Sunday. Okay, so how do you get the points for Monday? Well, you submit it and have me print it off for you on Monday. What if you don't finish until Monday night at like 9:15? Don't come to my house, right? Don't come to my house. Submit the link to me, and then first thing Tuesday morning, that's in my hand. Does that make sense? As long as if you submit it online on Monday and you don't give me the paper till Wednesday, you're not getting the points except for Wednesday. Does that make sense? Okay. Do you have any questions? Uh-oh, where is it? Peace.